Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K channel. I, of course, am Dave, and with me is Kirk, and we also have the wonderful band Hereward with us tonight. Welcome to the channel, guys.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Always throw a little round of applause in there. Thank you very much for taking your time. Are you in a studio today, or are you at someone's house, or?
All of mine.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. Well, it's nice to have you all on one camera. It makes a change. We usually have about lots of little different cameras or just one person. So great to have you on here. Now, we're going to get into some questions pretty much straight away. But one of the first questions we usually talk about is, or we ask the band to explain the name of the band. But Kirk has a little bit of a theory about where he thinks your name comes from. So I'm going to throw it over to Kirk. Kirk, do you want to explain what you think the band Hereward's name came from?
Yeah, when I saw you, on the poster playing the Hitching Heat, I thought straight away they're going to be from the Fens because of the Anglo-Saxon insurgent hero against the Norman conquest, Hereward the Wake. That's got to be the origins of the band name, right?
No.
Yay! We knew you're wrong.
It is.
No. To be fair, actually, you're very accurate as it goes. We were looking at something that represents Cambridgeshire as an area, coming up with names that was sort of thrown in the mix, and everyone seemed to like it, so we stuck with it.
Yeah, because when I saw your logo, I was like, when I saw the name, I thought, I wonder if they're a black metal band. And then when I saw the logo, I was like, no, they're not a black metal band.
Yeah, read it. Sorry to disappoint.
No, don't worry. I'm
glad you disappointed him. I'm so glad.
With name like this, I think it leaves us a little bit open to, we're not put in one single category. We can be political if we want to be. We can write about a number of different things. It doesn't put us to one single place because it's not very satanic. It's not very nocturnal. It's just very open to interpretation. So you kind of need to come and see us to see what we are all about. I think that makes it very, very open.
One thing we would like to get into is understanding about the history of the band, how long the band's been going together, how long this lineup has been. Because looking online, there wasn't really a lot of information about when the band formed that we could find anyway. And we usually do a little bit of digging around, etc. So do you want to just take us through how Hereward came together, if you've had lineup changes, etc.?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So me and Josh met probably 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Give or take, in another band, so we were sort of in another band at the time. COVID then obviously happened, which, as we all know, kind of caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. The rest of the members of the band decided they want to do their own things, go their own way. Me and Josh kind of messaged each other saying, are we still going to do it? Pardon my French, but my reply was, fuck yeah, we got some good songs. So we decided to continue on. Josh put a message out and we found Mackie and Jamie, started jamming together. I was playing guitar and doing vocals at the time. As you can see, it didn't work out very well because I'm not doing anything else. And we decided to go find another guitarist, and Harry, for good or bad for him, I don't know, replied to a message online, and he's been stuck with us ever since. So I guess, we probably started this late 2021, sort of towards the end of the COVID sort of thing. So obviously with restrictions and stuff, it took a bit of time to get it off the ground, but now we're finally here and going live. We're loving every minute of it. So
I think that's where we kind of guessed 2021 because that's when your Facebook page went live. So we're like, bands tend to do that. You kind of set up a band, and as soon as you got ready to start doing anything, you need a Facebook page. So our detective skills were on fine form today. Kirk, you wanted to chat about the EP?
Yeah, sure. So just before we go on to the EP, you mentioned detective skills. First place I looked was Bandcamp and then Encyclopedia Metallum. And you're not on either of those. How come you didn't put Angel in the Storm on Bandcamp?
That's probably a good question, maybe from lack of foresight, to be honest. I'm so focused on getting it on the streaming platforms and just getting a voice out with like Spotify and the Amazon Music. But we do have a Bandcamp, but it's not on there. So it's a case of now we're starting gigging. And you mentioned about the social media not being quite up to scratch, but now because the Metal to the Masses was actually only our second gig. We've only really been gigging for the past 4 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
It's a case of getting our profile up now and putting a bit more focus into it. We've got a few gigs coming up.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I didn't realise that was your second gig. That performance at Club 85 was so energetic, wasn't it? I think when they asked me to give feedback after, and what I said was, this is a band. You look so grateful to be on the stage. And I don't think you see that in many artists. Maybe that explains, because it's only your second gig, but you just look like you were so happy to be up there. It was just so infectious. Obviously, the music.
Oh, yeah. I think we're all like that, just in every walk of what we do.
I love it.
We're just happy to have the time to be on stage because it's over so quickly. You've got to enjoy every second.
Absolutely, yeah. And with as you said, that stupid COVID was ruined everybody's plans, and we couldn't really do that. When even in the previous bands, everything kind of fell apart halfway through, just before that, and it's been good 4 years since maybe more since I've been live on stage, and with these guys, it's just so natural. The connection is there, and it's joy to be on stage and play together. Really is.
Yeah, did all 5 of you record on the EP as well in October 2022 when you released it? Are all of you playing on that? Or are there other musicians that have since left the band that recorded parts on that EP?
So 4 of us recorded because unfortunately Harry had literally just joined the band at that point, was on holiday when we went in to record the EP. So it's like prior commitments and stuff. So unfortunately Harry's not on that one, but we hope to rectify that at some point, either this year or the early start of next year. We'll hopefully rectify that issue and Harry can destroy the EP. It'll be wonderful.
So talk to me about the title track then, Angel in the Storm. Me and Dave have got some theories on who we think it sounds like and who your contemporaries are, and we'll be keen to know if our guesses align.
We've got very different of opinions because we basically we usually go, we listen to this album and we can hear this sort of band's quite a big, you would be quite comparable to this sort of band or some similarities to here, and we're always quite like that. But rather than us say that, we want to know who do you think you have an influence on, or you've got contemporaries that people that maybe like this other band would also like you.
I'm intrigued now to your guesses, really, more than anything else. Because we noticed because I watched the preview video that you guys done before Metal to the Masses, and what you said about us saying that we're a metal band from Cambridge, and I think that's because we're very hard to pinpoint. We kind of we don't really know what genre we fall into, so I guess that's why it's a bit ambiguous.
Okay.
I guess is the reason, because every single one of us has a very different style and outlook of our influences and stuff. So it's definitely a mesh at some points. So I mean, me personally, I was brought up around the new metal era. So bands like Korn, Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, all the way up to like Avenged Sevenfold with the melodics, back to Iron Maiden, that sort of style of thing. So the storytelling and the theatrical side has always resonated with me, lyrically and vocally, and obviously on stage as well. So that's kind of where I came from.
Yeah, I'm quite similar in terms of influence as well. Like the Rev and Joey Jordison were kind of like my idols when I was a kid. So I think probably a lot of their influence shines through of like what I write on drums. But yeah, I'd probably say I'm pretty much the same as you.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Got a lot of bluesy kind of influences as well, which is throw in there, but Metallica.
I'm going to say your T-shirt answers it, doesn't it, to some extent? That's a Puppets T-shirt.
I didn't really need to talk, did I? Just go like that.
Yeah.
Well, Mackie was wearing a Motorhead T-shirt at the gig, wasn't he? I noticed.
Now,
Let me on. There you go.
Yeah,
Go on, Kirk. Kirk, do you want to say who you thought the kind of influences are?
Let Josh tell us as well. So
sorry.
I guess my sort of hidden agenda is basically try and get a bit more death metal into the band. But I know all the sort of the classics of like Metallica and Megadeth and obviously Motorhead and all that. But I have a lot of some of my sort of main modern influences around like Gojira and Devin Townsend, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's
Bit of Tool.
Yeah, a bit Tool and stuff. Or proggy death metal.
Should we review? We're nowhere near with this, are we, Dave?
No, well, I think what it might be is that it's because they've all got quite diverse styles from each other. So actually, the contents of what we've pulled out is actually what they kind of sound like together as contemporary bands. Actually, does make a bit more sense. So go on, you say yours first.
Right, Angel in the Storm, which is a devastating track. I really like that song, especially the chorus. Have you heard of a band called Armored Saint? John Bush, who ended up in Anthrax. His band, Armored Saint, it reminds me of that anthemic heavy metal where it's a cross between Judas Priest and early thrash metal. and you've really gone for like a dramatic chorus, which is very difficult to do. And I think you really pull that off. So I'm looking at like mid-80s heavy metal that didn't quite penetrate the mainstream with proto thrash, and yeah, there are groove elements in there, but I wouldn't have said that it's Gojira and Devin Townsend, etc., only because I don't really know what guitar tunings you're using. Am I anywhere near with that?
I'd like to say yes, because that tickles my my kind of taste in music, to be honest with you.
Really quick on Angel in the Storm, I've actually got to give a massive shout out to one of my old band members I was with previously, a guy called Wes Tyler. He's up at Scarborough now. He's also a tattoo artist and designs quite a bit of artwork for previous stuff we've done. He actually co-wrote that song with me in our previous band, and very nicely enough for him actually gave us permission to continue using it because it never saw the light of day live, and I thought that was a real devastating thing for that because we really put a lot of work into that track together. And so thank you. We managed to keep that one and keep going with it. So thank you, Wes, if you ever listen. Thank you.
Yeah, Josh, your hidden agenda definitely comes through in Mediocrity, doesn't it? Because you've got are you doing the death metal vocals in that? Where you've got the traditional heavy metal singing, are you doing those growls?
No, it's all DC.
Is it? Oh, you on that? Fuck yeah. See, when I watch you live, I can't remember. Yeah, actually, I do remember it now. You're doing that. For some reason, when I listened to the EP, I just assumed there were two people doing it. So that obviously is a compliment.
It's charged.
Multiple personalities, it's hard to keep up.
That's insanity. Right? We're not there yet. That's insanity. The thing that was really funny in the studio is we were trying to do something different with the last chorus, weren't we? With that track, so I was just in the booth messing around, and eventually, if you listen to the choruses very carefully, just underneath, there's actually a second vocal line, really deep, which makes it sound like a subliminal message. That was kind of what we were sort of going for there. So if you ever listen to it back, have a listen and see if you can sort of catch that bit out, which is of course quite a little unique.
Yeah,
very clever, because that song is about media manipulation of the masses, isn't it? When you read the lyric, when I read the lyrics, I think that was very succinct. There are no ambiguities about the message to that song. What is it? Sorry, Dave, before we go to your guest on the influences, now we're talking about Mediocrity. What inspired that song that distresses you about modern society to write a song about that?
Well,
It wasn't social media, wasn't it?
yeah, it was kind of my sort of thing is, whenever we're all sit at home working on Facebook and TikTok and whatever, and seeing people posting the best of all their lives and everything, and you're sitting there thinking, like, I wish I was doing that. But if you think about it, it's kind of like they're posting the best bits, they're not posting their entire lives. So it's kind of that, how we easily get blinded by the social media and swiping up of the, I've even caught myself doing it. You're on like YouTube Shorts or TikTok, and you're like browsing, you'll be like there for 10, 20 minutes, like, what am I doing? I didn't even know what I started on. So it sort of came from that, like, kind of, it's very easy to get consumed by this sort of social media aspect, and then I think from there it sort of naturally blossomed into what the likes of, COVID and stuff that the government's been doing through COVID, whether it's been very good or not very good kind of stuff, and that sort of, kind of saying everything's going to be all right, and they're off doing one thing, parties and stuff in down the street, and we're all trying to self-isolate and everything, but yeah.
Soapbox or you good?
So yeah.
And I mean, just bouncing off what Josh said, I mean, my partner yesterday, she showed me a video of a influencer obviously on Facebook and stuff, who ended up murdering her partner. And you sit there and like you look at what kind of, I know it sounds really weird now, but you look at what they're posting, it looks like the perfect life. But then behind closed doors, it's completely different. It's all fabricated. And you, like I say, the amount of filters you see people put on bits to show your true self. Now get online, look around, actually look at the world that we're actually in, and just come away from the cyber thing. It's I think too many people put a brand on themselves nowadays, and it's causing a lot of problems. Especially people growing up and stuff. If they haven't got a brand, it's just it's like they're not complete, which is weird.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
Well, I think we this anxiety.
Snapchat and start a therapy session. We might need one.
Do you remember, like, this anxiety has also been around in music when MTV started to dominate, didn't it? Where it was like, people's attention spans now are atrocious and we have to do 3-minute songs and the chorus needs to come in within 30 seconds. And now that's been multiplied by 1,000, hasn't it? That anxiety. And even I'm guilty of it. You know, you just said there, Josh. I'll give you an example. 5 years ago, if someone asked me for an opinion on anything, you know, say like a political story, I will have read the entire article. Now, and I use the excuse that I'm busy, I'll just, all right, there's the headline, right, I just need to remember that if someone asks me about it. And then I take a step back, it's like, no, actually, I can't give an opinion on something that I've been so lazy about just to read the soundbite and try to interpret it from that. So yeah, I'm doing that, you know, swiping up and down and just not really reading the material that's in front of me. So yeah, it's definitely an anxiety that comes through in the song. Dave, though, I know our viewers and listeners will want to know, what did you guess as Hereward's influences?
Well, it seems weird doing that after such a deep and heavy conversation there, really. Come on.
Bring it back. It's cool. We'll cut that. It's fine. Roll it.
Let's cut back to like the light-hearted stuff. Okay. So there were two bands that there was one band that I really heard. Like I could almost go, right, well, yeah, you could almost say this your EP could have been like an early demo of one of their albums in a way. And that would be Adrenaline Mob, which I heard lots of that with the Mike Portney drum stylization, which is a great compliment. From the vocal delivery as well, very kind of in that kind of groove element there, I thought was great. And the other band was Tremonti. So from the guitarists, again, congratulations, great comparison to have in there. But Tremonti and Adrenaline Mob were the two that I would kind of go, yeah, if you're into those two bands, you will definitely love Hereward. And that's kind of where I always like to try and think this through for me. So when people kind of go, well, what do you think about this band? I'm like, have you heard of these other big bands? Great, then yes, you will like this band because they've got that kind of vibe. I don't know what you think about that.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
No, never would have come on my Tremonti. I'm not gonna lie. That was a surprise. That was
You can think about it. It makes sense.
We're sorry, Tremonti. Just to put it out.
Fair enough. Right. Anyway, so we need to talk about what the plans are then for going forward. Because obviously we had the EP. It came out last year, so we're now in 2023. So what's the plan for the rest of this year? Will we be getting any music videos, new music recordings, live plans? What's the plan on the agenda?
So I guess the most recent one, which was announced yesterday, we're now playing Willow Festival this year in Peterborough. So we just got announced for that yesterday. So Thank you, Willow Festival, for putting us on this year. Cambridge, obviously depending, this will come out next week, but it's going to be this Saturday coming, so
1st of April.
1st of April. Thank you.
That's was that the Portland Arms, is it? Or
yeah, that's the one for the Cambridge band competition. Yeah. So hopefully, if we get through that one, we'll have another gig lined up in the future. Obviously, round 2 of Metal to the Masses, go for the quarterfinals, and hopefully, again, make our way through that. Few other things in the pipe works that we've obviously not confirmed yet, so we're sort of in talks at the moment of getting a few things, just putting our feelers out there to local venues. So please book us. We promise we won't destroy the place. All right, fair enough. Harry might sort of sleep somewhere, but it's fine. We'll take him away afterwards.
I don't stay for long.
It curls like a cat at the bottom of the bed. You'll be fine.
Wait, no next.
Kirk?
Music video wise, we've sort of been talking about a music video for a while, and we might have someone maybe who can do one for us.
Yeah, we need to speak to
it's just obviously picking location,
having the money to spend as well, which isn't easy.
Yeah.
Being a recording musician, fully professional. Yes.
That's it. And EP maybe end of the year, maybe start of next year, depending on time and everything else that goes on with it, I guess.
That's clever though, isn't it? Because you've got 2 simultaneous Battle of the Bands competitions going in. It's a numbers game, isn't it? Enter everything that you can, and it's a gig. And you obviously, am I right in thinking that you treat every gig as another opportunity to just grow as a band?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
My mentality has always been, whether you've got one person there, whether you've got 100 people, if someone's come to see you and they've paid to see a show, they get the same show as the 100. It's the principle. Someone's come out to support you, and one person tells another person, they tell another 2. Yes, okay, being in a band and doing that work, it takes time. It's hard work, but if you don't put it in, then what's the point?
Yeah, but to tell you what though, you're in a good place considering that was only your second show at Club 85 in Hitchin. Because like most of the time, I remember last year watching, Rob Flynn, his podcast, and he was talking about early Machine Head shows, and he's like, we were crap at the beginning, and he said most bands go through that, but obviously you haven't. Those rehearsals, you've already got it to a really high standard by your second show, and just think how far you could go if because clearly you're still going to look to improve, but I think you've already got it really, really locked in, with a good momentum. So how many songs did you play at the Club 85 show? Was it 5?
It was 6. 6.
So you played all 3 from the EP. Did you play Insanity?
That was our final song I played.
Yeah. So those are the 3 songs. Are they from previous? Are they going to be on the next EP? Have they been released in demo format? What are those other 3 songs?
So the first song was actually from a previous project that Big C were in. We probably won't proceed with that one because that was kind of that band that we just needed a slot for the live thing. One of the songs which Harry recently written.
Very recently.
Very.
Yeah, it was like 4 weeks before the show. That song was kind of
Not even that.
kind of
Yeah, not even
complete
that.
and just rehearsed. That was called "Heal Me" by Harry. Very nice song by Harry on that one. Very nice.
Yeah. And then the other one was the that booty on the bootlegs on the piratey kind of the power metal sort of thing. Which I'd like to record that one because it's fun.
I love it as well.
And I just like shouting the title live. I'm not being honest with you, 2 seconds. All that. And it gives me a chance to wear a really ridiculously flamboyant jacket. So anything like that's good by me.
It's nice.
I'm gonna borrow a jacket. I don't know how I'll come back.
Fair enough.
You all finished, Kirk? Or did you have another question?
No, that's it. I just wanted to.
Okay. We just all went very quiet there, going, "Who's speaking?" I don't know. Is it me or you? I don't know.
Well, sorry, Harry.
Right. Well, with that, if that was the last question, we will of course be seeing Hereward at the quarterfinals. We will be there with them, and we'll be covering that on the ADK channel. But best of luck. Really look forward to seeing you guys on a music video some point in the future as well. And obviously, hope best of luck with your other Battle of the Bands in the Cambridge area. So for everyone at home, this is Hereward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.